what the haters talking about.
What's up, family? A 36-year-old woman by the name of Kia Baldwin did an interview on Today Parents and talked about life after adopting a baby who happens to be white. According to Kia, white people have called the police on her on two separate occasions. The little boy Princeton is only 2 years old and has been with her ever since he was strong enough to leave NCIU. Kia, who is a licensed therapist in North Carolina, says he was born prematurely to a drug-addicted mother in July 2017. Said the baby weighed only 1 pound. She says ever since she's had the child, her family treats him with unconditional love, but when she goes outside, the white folks presume he's endangered. She says they get a lot of stares, and she's frequently asked if she's Princeton's babysitter. She says she's also been asked, why didn't you leave him with a family of his own race? She says that they took a trip to Tennessee and they took one of those old-fashioned photos, and the woman behind the camera kept disappearing. She finally comes back and she says, is that your child? And she said, when she confirmed that, yeah, this is my child, she said the woman said, I took a picture with that same child 2 weeks ago with his family. And she said a few minutes later, the police shows up and she had to pull out documents that prove that Princeton indeed was in her custody and that she had permission to travel with him. Now, after reading this story, I was very interested in what some of the stats were on adoption. I know that right now you guys are saying to yourself, why didn't she adopt a black child? All of these black kids who are in need of a loving home, loving parents, a safe environment. Why, oh why, would she not adopt a black child and instead adopt a white child? Okay, so it turns out that in America, there's over 100,000 children who are waiting for adoption. They're awaiting adoption. And 24% of those children are black. Black people statistically only represents about 13% of the population. At least those are the numbers that they're putting out there. So black people, black children are disproportionately represented in the adoption world. Here's something interesting. So you know how you always see people going overseas adopting children? And this is not just white people, you know. All kinds of people go overseas and adopt children. I'm like, you know, what is the big draw for adopting children overseas? It turns out that three main reasons. Fear of birth parents changing their mind and wanting their child back. Concerned about open adoptions, where birth parents maintain some contact with their child, and an assumption that adoptive children in the U.S. have more health issues due to alcohol and drug abuse by their mothers. Those are the main reasons adopting parents have given for adopting outside of the U.S. And the primary countries that they adopt from is China, Korea, and Guatemala. Now, what are the main reasons they give for not adopting black children? The main reason is race, the race issue. They cited the contentious race relations between blacks and whites in America, and they fear having to defend their children. And also address the issues of race relations in America and that history. They don't want to talk about that history. There are some white people who go to Africa to adopt. Those white people who go to Africa to adopt rather than adopt in the U.S., I do believe somehow they think that if they adopt a black child in Africa, that it doesn't come with the same set of problems because they're not a black American. They wasn't born in America. And so somehow, because that child's history is not tied to this slavery in America, that the ride will be somehow easier for them. The ride will not be easier for the child at all. Maybe with the parents' reasoning and their guilt or whatever guilt that they may feel, maybe they don't have to worry about that when they look at the child every day. If they adopt them from Africa, a black child from Africa. But trust you me, their experience is going to be very, very similar to any black person in America because America got racism on lock. America, this racist thing, this racism is woven through the fabric of America. America loves racism. America is fueled by racism. America don't want to stop racism. It's funny that when I address racism, I address it. See, I'm not causing it anything. I just talk about the racist stuff that go down. And, well, he's race baiting. No. Nah, you can't get me like that. See, some people, they get scared when they address the truth and then people attack them hard. They get scared and they crawl up and they get in a little ball and they don't say anything. I'm not going to be silent so that someone who is in violation or denial of the truth can be comfortable. All you parents out there who are adopting, who have adopted, I salute you. Raising someone else's biological child is not the easiest thing in the world to do, regardless of race. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?